let me put it on record and put on record here. There is no such looker MPP ni bi atwo be bia ye friend agyapade. NDC for creation. And this is not the first time. President Kufuor Breso Kromu yebi. I'm friend of the Great Ashanti Project. And also the same thing. Samu bebrebe kaya. That was the time NDC for catch Ghana for you. I said President Kufuor be your mampenia. Obeyi capital ne film cry. Not their kukumase. Na na don so ba muka the same thing. So obeyi capital film cry. Not their coachebi. In fact, omo kaya kai say President Kufuor. Why not just obefa a prono e film cry. E their kwa Ashanti region. They did it. They said it. The same NDC people. Now e kamia ko say afi bia ye beto abia no. E say NDC for fa intro mienu yesabi no mo dinante. No mo hope say Ghana for be so no mato aba mo. Say ye beka say NDC nipa ye campaign or ka policy. Enyina so ye fa to aba mo nyebida. Omo de ye mienu ye be di atam. Ni atreten wo. Ni the violence aye elections no. Ye to so mienu no ene say ye be try opponent no so. Ni achechire aso no. Ni abompa say nipa na okoto aba na beje ntro ne sum no mato aba etia no. Enye in the 90s they go into the year 2000 elections. NDC for say Kufuor was sack Zongo people from Ghana. Ye kwa elections no. Omo nante Ghana ha nyina ye banners. E de bo posters bo Zongos. E ka che Zongo fo nyina say samoto aba ma Kufuor ne MPP fo ma pam Zongo fo nyina fi Ghana. Na mo mpom asem. Omo say Kufuor will change the capital to Kumasi. Omo ka che Ghana for say Kufuor say ye to abama no be your mampani a one ne party MPP for your madwen say ye be yi capital ne fin kan na Kufuor dey akokuma say because I asantini. NDC they did that when we were trying to come to office with President Kufuor as a flag bearer. Say Kufuor will carry the sea from the coast to Ashanti region. Catch Ghana for you say President Kufuor munim na samoto abama na one ne MPP ma yoku na your madwen so be fair prono e fin kan no mo dey Kumasi. This was the NDC in the early 2000s. As in the year 2000 elections. When omu kuki yomu noaye at the two MPP so. 2004, omu kache Ghana for you say President Kufuor any buoni bi akwakowo. Buoni ne fene gizeyazi na wawonta for Paul and Peter. E transfer to papa so. E kache Ghana for you say eno ye dwamanfo eno ye say say be on be gu ni fi. Na ya to abetia no. Se ne and I give the years in town for Paul and Peter Beba. But in the year 2004 elections, NDC for no one trouble at to President Kufuor. Hotel Wawa, almost a President Kufuor, your mind seeker, with your mind seeker, they are called hotel, Africa Region Hotel. Emma, Ebu baby, almost your demonstration, Eka won some bebre, simply because I see a day and trot a swano near to a Betiano NDC strategy. Going into election 2008, the Great Ashanti Project, Bank of Ghana, missing gold reserve propaganda by and the General Secretary of the NDC. Yeko into 2008 elections. No, we could be. Ne friend say setting the record straight to say visa. Now, what you say? We could be a Baba press conference with Trump back one aminu. Or kanya actually news people say President Kufuor na buy. Via Ghana, you go the World Bank of Ghana at the Kwabrichi. He said that and published that in his newspaper. Fifi Kote, General Secretary of the NDC. And on the party for I got printed document. Now, I'm printed a book more say a bank statement of MPP penning for Omakonya Evo Prudential Bank, NIB Bank. GCB Bank, ADB Bank. No more printing MPP from penny for bebre PPB. No more printing. No more anything say. And your original B. No more the name maybe a stamp so. No una mukro no more chiche. Mosha ko foreign and penny for me a conform. On bank statement are leaking ye cray. On way we are 2 billion. We are 5 billion. We are 6 billion. Keka ni na. No more printing documents. We better about to say evidence. Say Mosha document and krata. Say. MPP President Kufuor na buy area Bank of Ghana gold in the Kwabutini. We almost share documents across the country. In the same year 2008, almost say Ghana MPP are buying President Kufuor buying Aton Ghana and Crime lands in Yina. When, as a matter of fact, let me put it on record here today and now. No political party be anyone not buying penny for Aton. Abayin agyapade and saseni abayin fini eduma SNDC. No political party. NDC penin biya from the top to the bottom. Biya etobi. Omo ton to say chupa chops. Omo ton factories to say chupa chops. Omo ton sase to say kelewele any tomatoes. In fact, NDC pe any amount yokuwa. Omo to be called parliament. E kachire MPs ne say monchechire mra mayen. Na sa mra no. The person ya dem brand ya ne say ya de beto oman ne japade oman factories ne oman ne nsase omo ton oman we nsase ne japade if any say factories nyina enso omo bo mo to we cooking document ni eya nhoma bi ya nkrata bi stamp ye e de nante Ghana he nyina twantro to na na de dan koku for the president kofo aban so in the year 2008 say no hwe omo wia omo tonton enkanfo nsase nyina omo tonton Ghana nyemenya they were the actual corporate. Ebiyam omo say na na de danko ekufodo ye pamono efi Oxford omo say ye pamono from Oxford University Emma to the extent that also University atro ye kra ebe ka che NDC for say enya no kra they say NDC omo ka to Ghana for team in fact omo printed document che say sacking letter efi Oxford omo je fake sacking letter free Oxford the chese say ye pamona na de ko for the free Oxford e mo cheche free Ghana for Ghana he nyina it took the Oxford University to write and say say no mo kano enye no kre in some be no mo ka for na dan ko for in the year 2008 or ye we smoker or ye cocaine dealer or pema why yes in fact o mo kan aka say ono an yire kura no onu ne ku no NDC4 that is how wicked they can be. Omo bi omanu ehwe papa nanim kan say ne ye ne hokafo a obono a ono ne wo ma a ono ne te no NDC for the year campaign e twanto to say ono na da koku for do so mere ekunu the NDC in the year 2012-2016 omo say samotu abama Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia obeyi capital town no every na na do koku for do a moto abama na do koku for do a obeyi capital no efin kan e de akoche bi na obema ochehene aye the most powerful king in this country and also omo ye ho document e ye ho krata troye e cheche fa Ghana hanyina na sambre no ne social media 2000 2004 2008 2012 2016 na social media no entintim yet say entintim ene no nka niema ye bette wo ya sunu sambre no but they did it. They pasted posters of all these things across the country and lied to the people of Ghana and said, this is the evidence. These are the documents. These are facts. This is evidence that Nana Danko Kufuor, President Kufuor, Omo Ashanti, Great Ashanti Project, Ombe Yi Capital, Efinkra Akochebi, Ombe Yi say, nina for my way, simply because non bese Ghana for a Tuabamomo. That's what they wanted to do. In the year 2024, the same MPP, the same NDC in the contest, NDC for society, only the same strategy aba. This time, Oma kofa book biya, Oma koshe demu, akeka stories, news items. Oma keka boom, inti asamne ba, Oma fa nomu da kamu, Oma keka ni mina boom, nomu di ap 2 bontin say, eye book biya, nana de danko kufa de nne busu ya koshe demu no matrone, no na mo share no mo implement ewo Ghana ha. Complete fabrications. Complete lies. How can we be so wicked as a people? Now, opportunity. We live in a democratic country. Opportunity say why do you fabricate stories? Your entire career, consistently every single elections. This is the historical fact. Must come up with 1 or 2 lies to destroy your opponent. Why? Why? And then North Town MP Honorable Sami Okujo Tablakwa aya no say the propaganda king. No kreno, no adane no. No aka no the brofu bebre bi afifa ho, no ebiem. Enti sa wo kind na de ana wo tie so okasa, no wan to go enti ni here. Wo bedwen se do aka na no kre, anti se wo beto bo ase, no hwehwe ni say or the votes. The same strategy. 90s, 2000, 2004, 2008, 2012, 2016, 2024. NDC and Sesaya. A yentro. No creba component. Complete fabrication. Book from Fred Japadiano. NDC for netnase na ye buka uko say na biawo book ni bia no omo implement it. What the NDC has basically done is that omo niama na omo kikafa MPP ne na Nana Akufo-Addo before 2016 elections no ye ba power in the year 2017 pe na omo cast anya mani nyina bom omo cast anya mani nyina bom na omo throw the book and I'll prove to you say they actually wrote a book in the year 2017 changed that book in the year 2020 by simply putting together all the stories and news and incidences between 2017 and 2020 and they named it as an agyapdee document. It's what do you uncoswa what kind book now? Who feel say a book I tried that near woman ebem is a complete fabrication. And your near ya reporting in news in for articles or matro stories and confusion or market kaboom no more book in the year 2020. But you see, Sadia way air koswa. Some of us are not surprised, and this goes to my Gen Z friends. This is the NDC party. This is who they are. It's we are Gen Z. They be all control about one party. No matter send you two things to Nigeria. So pick your phone, Google about the NDC party, and you see who they truly are before you make a decision and you make a choice. Omumam penino dio manim nanka se bi na no aka se about wombre ebesoa and chokakra the film near there. Listen to what the former president himself said about lies during elections.
MRP, say it drew election time. Na amanyo kubia epre. Nti ne obeka bia ama nipa akoma dane ama eno na obeka. Nti entra now the film. No clear now the film. Ya the frefra. No clear no ho yenka na ya the intro film.
Nti dia obeka bia manipa adwen adane ama no eno na obeka. Nti entra na dia film. No cry, not your film. This is a former president of our nation. This is supposed to be our role model. This is supposed to be the leader of this nation. This is supposed to be the statesman of this country. Telling the young people of this country, say, I'm not one brain asu. Ye kotuaba. Inti dia ubeye biya na wasese nipa dwenu. Ubeye entra now the film. And ye make miracles. And I make a show. And yet, Dr. Mahmoud Bamian and Asuma me say me from no make a show. What a video no. One kasa would was what in your kind. And I what would do when you video. How can we leave the destiny and the future of our country in the hand of such a person? A man that is seeking to lead this country. A man that is seeking to be president. It will be an anoka say. I'm not what bre asun. Ya ubeye biya or the best is any padre no. Ubeye and try now the film. No cry. Now the film. How can we put our destiny in the hands of such a man? And this is they executing what the president, the former president, is talking about. The Oman Penny, Dada Jomahama Ekano, and no Pepe Penna if in the 90s, Ebepem 2024, NDC4, we lied for power, says Fonka. The Ashanti Regional Chairman of Friends of Nana Akufo-Addo Rollins has stated that the ruling National Democratic Congress lied for power. Rashid Abu Al-Hassan said all the things the NDC propagated against the SY Kufuor regime in the run-up to the 2008 elections were lies. All the things our leaders said about former President Kufuor's government were lies that were thrown with a view to causing public disaffection for the then government in order to make us win the elections, Abu Al-Hassan emphasized. Or say, and somewhere yem penny for any party no ye kafa pampeni John Kufuor nyina na ye ntro no kweba kokrampo enum ye kanesa akwa enye ono pe na wakasa asem no momentie dia fifi koti otwa ntro for pampeni Kufuor ne MPP aban in the year 2008 elections Ghana for gina sound ntro no so because it's all the documents by omo printing documents so na mo printing agyapdee book here you omo printing for Ghana he nyina anti we Ghana ni na book document bank statement a chair say o man penin Kufuor na ba wi Ghana gold na akwa buchire and o bank statement o wi Ghana scan na obejedi nti no kwe Ghana for bebejidi e na ye to abama edisi aban ye to man wi na onya appointment o mo ye deputy finance minister and a parliament minister tanya bia in some na wo ka fa o man penin Kufuor ho no wa ba bem wahu wanya nyina so wakɔhwɛ gold no ɛwɔ hɔ na sɛ eni hɔ mo mentie dia fifi kotika ye.
defense. Since then, have you had any evidence that indeed the MPP administration has sold the gold reserves?
Mr. Chairman, in all fairness, I mean, it was not long after that when it was obvious that the story was not true. And I was one of those people who clearly spoke to it because there was no basis at all to the story.
Did you use the same medium to publish that what you put out there boldly was incorrect?
Did I use the same medium to say so?
Yes.
I used even a greater medium, which was my voice, which traveled much further than even the paper traveled.
The chairman, this is laughable. This indeed.
This is the General Secretary of the NDC. On a so on call baby, what is the quantity? In pipe when say the new lie or more cookie. Ede ashe buku mu omo fene Japan buku no mutwa o ma chechire ato wona o mo de asoaye no ne mpa bo nyina se bebem na se nyama mmoa na se bem na se yegire no so to abama NDC a you kai in 2009 after Owuni power no saa no be ka che Ghana for say buku ne de na yini ya keka mu ne de so a omo. This is the NDC for you, and that's why we are saying that we shouldn't allow them to hoodwink us like they did in the past. Remember your mom coin, no one dada it is no one dada and nana akano. Mokai said me catch them say long before the Nadu Danko for the bar being as far back as 2008 and the NDC for shots say omo can some omo try so omo bema a chem for na santifon temum toko bia bem ntomo hyase say na Nadu Danko for the samo to obama na obeti asanteman ho den so obeti asanteman tumi so obama asanteman ho de akoso na asanteman na obechicha asanteman sha se omo preju omo ho eko agina ho aboa emaga na manyina atumi aboa ye ho akabom no eyene na Nadu Danko Akufo-Addo se wo ogidie se na Nadu Danko Akufo-Addo betumi ati asanteman ho den so a na menim omaya wo firi eti ye ba mu in the year 2017 pe and then this is for Ekofa the first book book no omo to the Achim Mafia plan. This is the book, the Achim Mafia plan, the way forward after Nana Akufo-Addo. The first person who posted document way NDC Nibutras and Kwaku Yenchi posted on 14 January 2017. This was 7 days after the Nana Akufo-Addo has been sworn in as president. The way forward after Nana Akufo-Addo is sworn in as president. And then omo tro book no essence no medi kan akato Ghana for nyina say no na de oni achemfo ba o mecheche o man nafa no mama man no say Ghana no ko meyi capital fin kan e de akoche bi o mama asanteman ho de so aba fam omo keka sa na mani nyina nti omo kan yemo no omo kan during sa campaign period nyina bomu de share book no omo de share ho right after Nana came to power. This is what they did. Okay book na bedu baby omo say as for Alan Chemantin, his popularity once more has surged up with both within the party and the country. In all honesty, he has made so much gains for Nanado and our 2016 campaign. So we must be careful dealing with him. In spite of the good works by Alan, he remains the #1 threat with the potential to stand in the way of Kenuforiata becoming president after Nanado. NDC for etro book no sabe esane se niswade minusa na adwene no anye emburo bia adwene tonti no omo ye mistakes nketenkete bi wade na omo tro yenim ye be pam entoma akirem. In this book 2017 version of the book no NDC for tro wo say omo ma ne ye te say Nanado eni na busu ayo omo adwene say Nanado fi abemu a Kenuforiata na ba bedi Nanado ade enti according to the NDC this was supposed to be a planner. Nana Danko Akufo-Addo na busu for a follow. Enti Kenuforiata eba bedi Nanado ade nemum omo de omo adwemu no omo se nipa obetumi ya ha Kenuforiata kaka na ye Alan Chemantin. That is what they put in the book. It is a utifie na so kan book bi say ya. Of course quickly why have bedi book ni because no mo si ahihye book ni ade no obedi ni na die follow mamika se mincho. 4 versions they have done 4 versions of this book. Now, what kind second version? No? Now, what kind third version? No? Now, what kind fourth version? Now, we will say there is no connection between the 4 versions and this 2017 version. Because 2017 the year in some of them during campaign time, if I another one mo keka bo community, omo twenya ye wura 2020 no, no mo hear a second version. In the second version, what they did was that Niema SCC dada between 2017 ye ba be mu no bepem 2020 no mo kan ni na bo munti omo first story we are online story racial fula na do be ye oye wie ya no mo fa say o movie we fi ministry we ko we ya na story ne ba no mo fa omo kan ni na bo mu no mo de share the second version, the 2020 version of the book. Sambre ni mwa ena minerals income fund, minerals investment income investment fund project na ban pese oye in ensuring say ye betumi enya ye sika ye gudie musika no bebre ne yetumi da cheche oman no ejapa project na no ba be no sambre ni mwa na ejapa project ne ba ye nti omuhu say now this ejapa project has come and won say ma ye bebre pe na almost say a book reading from the Achem Mafia plan to the agyapdee. And clearly, there was a 2017 book that was completely different. That book was a compilation of electronic propaganda. Omukafa na nadu dan kweku fado ho. Ina mo twenya ye do 2020 no. Ina niema SCC dada no. Omo kan ni nyina bo mu into a book. And I'm afraid book no agyapdee, and the reason why they call it agyapdee was because tamana sa agyapa project ne baso no propaganda omo de fa mu ne say na dan kweku fado ene na busia for air Ghana gold nyina akọ. And as a agyapa project ne be a very popular term in Ghana. Somebody the title of the book. This book na 37 pages. The very first one omo in 2020 no. Enti if you work on bibia ba no mo de akohyem. Bibia ba no mo enti asem ni sie na anase nkomodie ni start say ekosoa no mo kan stories na no ma revise on the share book ni. Na you see esa ne say we di kan hu book no ba akubi e painti. So we sa screenshot na o ma second ho na say hey enti we zo book ni enti na beti dey bum ka say oh na book no say yen trompo a say dey wo mu bia no esisi enye no kwe. The fact of the matter is say open kofa any of the books na kan ubemu say content ni be what 37 ni any 38 pages ni third version about current one no the 39 pages asem ni see ya no ma update no ma put it no out but esa say one kind book ni na completely nti unya hu person oh say dey way nti na way so book ni without really comparing. And I can tell you, if you compare all the 3 books, 1, 2, 3, 4 versions of the book, you realize that they're completely different. It was your phone. Now, sebi Madaruma. Say, ya doing ye duma kra. Say, ya doing ye duma kra. Yembisa ya say, na not don't go for the nebusu ya 14. Say, ye be faga na minat, ye be tonwafa. Eno mu true book. Omu true book no. Ena book no. Omo call printing press. Eka che printer say ya tro book e de ba be che Ghana afa. Enti yesraw print book no man. Ne yan koton book no. Because me kan minua madam for pa Eugene say to or journalist e wo Kumase. Or say I first came across this book in 2017 on KNUST campus. It was a hard copy document. That is the agyapdee book or document. Is it real or fake? It was said to say, or no, in the year 2017, you know, your hard copy of Sabook way, Nanyabia Mr. Moon. Enti, Nipa na mo say, Oma to me at Trasiatro book. Emma book no, Momo claim say, book no insemu na esisimo. It is a Nipa way, and we answer, and Momo printing book no, or the printing press, and your cover page, and your Bibia Ekotonye. I mean, how do you even expect a 9-year-old to even believe this? 9-year-old, the about 9-year-old crowd will say them like now where you doing? But of course, and this is for a peer as I am because omo dane semono omo dane nsem no nti woto na wo hwa be fi se de omo ka no eye no kre this page sa page we sa wo kofa first edition we ya we be say this part of this document where it talks about Ecobank and Osafuma Fuba and Senate no you realize that this document is not in this first document and see what happened was that immediately omampeni Akufo the year such a kakra e was Senate pepe omko update document no almost share that document no nti esa ne say we payment so we say oma share bibi say no ma update no ma share that document here wadwen enkoso but the fact of the matter is that say wo sa first document we ukohwe na ubia obemu say sa paragraph we on Senate no it is not in this first document it any bia mpamocho na na dan Akufo na ebusu afotro book no first version omo ye no mo ko print ye no mo ko tonton ye ana elikiye okay omo ko tonton ye dia ene ebusa obaba 9 years kwana cheche ni say asemi ono ka che na obaje dia na so man ko tonton so na elikiye dia enti mpamocho first one elikiye second one elikiye third one elikiye how eba ne say ena Ecobank Senate asem no any first version eba ne say ena Senate asem no any second version the second version it doesn't have this insurance page wey nyina any first and second version eba ne say ena insurance page ni na any enti make catch say the end is for you nyina ne say asem ni sia na say almost asem na sipe no ma fa no da ko share omo update book no it normally you realize that normally what happens is that in the morning we be nyane no ma fa page ba ko no mo de say omo circle ho no mo circulate but esa say we painti what do you cry enkoso but I can tell you go and pick the 3 versions of this book you realize that there are a lot of things current version no my no current version no my no mo de Senate die ne be mu no mo de judges die Supreme Court judges die no ebe mu when you go and check you realize that they do not appear in the previous versions. That is how wicked the NDC can be. First version 2017 and I'm the show no now I'm can say me show say book no your book and not dan Akufo na busu afọ na try here and 2017 version should be the one that we should see being implemented. How come 2017 someone mo try no emu bia mbem until 2020 there now ebe tro nsema SCC between 2018 and 2020 nsema SCC between 2018 and 2020 nkoa and a book 2017 there bibia sa enim that is why I tell you say asem sia no ma for no dia shame no ma share it is never true say whatever is in the agyapdee book is being implemented rather it is what has already happened and no for no dia shame book no ma distribute on for no dia shame book no ma distribute and that is why each of the versions are kind you realize that some of the information that is the reason why it's happening that way. There are 4 versions of this book and some part of the book right there obi article awakotro Professor Kweku Aza article awatro no trauma CDG no omo fa ni nyina word for word no mo share book no na me some question no na Akufo de ba mu no throw book 2017 and so otumi we say Professor Aza betro article 2019 e ma ne fa Professor Aza article no throw 2019 e she 2017 book mana how does this even make sense? Papa kokan page 33 okan page 33 ya obemu say Professor Stephen Kweku Asare book na ne article no throw ye e was Center for Democratic Development so omo for the whole article omo nja ba akumpo omo for the whole article no mo de share book ni na book na dan Kweku for the busu for throw ye so o de be chechire o man no e ba ne sen e na sa book no etumi ade a Professor Kweku Aza e throw so many years after March 13 2020 March 13 2020 there wa he nyina mo kan nyina yi book ni page 33 there wa page 33 of the book ni nyina no eya ade a Professor Kweku Aza na troye e de to online March 13 2020 omo copy ni na no mo share book ni na do throw book ni March 13 2020 na book na NDC for say nanado implement no eba ne say and at the year 2020 article Professor Kweku Azatro no ni nyina ebe find itself in the book, everything verbatim, word for word. Omo yiba kukre mfiho. Omo say the GATT Amalgamated Trust received 800 million from government to ensure that ADB Prudential Bank (NIB) were able to meet the minimum capital requirements set out by the Bank of Ghana. These banks are either government when you know we book them, and you be a banking sector cleanup. Book I would say a strategy. Obi ba abemu watchro or they running on minor supposedly a blueprint document or they running on minor. How did you get to know about 800 million specifically that was given to Amalgamated Bank? Almost decided way a share book. That is why when you go to the second version of the book, immediately a Bank of Ghana release the idea way on the 4th January 2019. Resources from GATT will be used to recapitalize the two state-owned banks to help bribe and promote. Page 33. Page 33. Book also be actual strategy I will implement. The person says the Ghana Amalgamated Trust received. It's not about them. No strategy. Now our trust strategy this we do 2020 no and try all trust. These are all stories are a CA banking sector cleanup 2018 2019 stories. A CA in a 2020. And let me show you. This is the book. Cover page of the book. Please, can you open the PDF file of the book for me? The cover page of the book has the date. Please open the PDF file of the book for me. The cover page of the book has the date of the year of the book. AD 2020. AD 2020. AD 2020. That is where you can find a friend say book no. And then when you open this book, wait. Okay. This is the date of the book. AD 2020. AD 2020. It means that it is established. Say this version of the book was written in 2020. This version of the book was written in 2020. How is anybody convinced that a strategy book was written at the end of somebody's tenure? How does it even make sense? How does it make sense? A strategy book that has articles of people, a strategy book that has news from online portals. How does this even make sense? But we are speaking about this today because your former president, what in another two, fake, and the party for you, and I was supporting fake document, completely fake document. Now, can I say, book in the ABA fake, and so never woman in the albino implemented. What is true is that never woman in Yama SCC because you're a banking sector cleanup. It is a true book in 2020. Now the banking sector cleanup Shiba. Because they see that. Because they see that. Ofa book now. In fact, in seminar affair na Omufa no more updates no be shame. And took of a previous version of the book. Sir, in seminar see and no be shame no. With the previous document. You see it only in the current document. In fact, some of them because they won't share book now. And you no be book no. One page be normally red pen afa no ma share but e say ya kan book no ye hu painti and no what 2020 say oh na say the book ni mu no and na ebe mu no. I can dare you go and pick the book and tell me one thing that is in the book NCA abem. Every single thing that happened between 2017 and 2020 is what is in the book. Adie bia NCA book no and see between 2017 and 2020 in here, so it hasn't happened. But the book is simply a compilation of things that have happened between 2017 and 2020 stories, Bank of Ghana stories, individual person stories, or matro, normally abeshim, nyama akoso dada, news portals are reporting, normal copy, normally abeshim book. How are you telling anybody that this is a a strategy document. How are you telling anybody? Say this is a strategy document. To the sense, someone to be can say, a friend is saying, in the book, I'm saying, Nana Kufuor, and in Russian allies, and you know, they are Russia for Bekebia or Beye. In fact, the evidence, even Nana Kufuor, a lot of the decisions that the UN has to do with Russia, Krampono, or to Aba differently. Ghana, you to Aba in a different way. So how do you even support any argument with that? I'm say, I'm going to picture, and the picture is supposed to be Nana Sefuriata the first. Nobody has shame book. They say, almost just say a shame for Beji or minor fa into almost far picture. No, two kind book now. Who says our good picture way? A book. And according to them, this good picture is supposed to be Nana Sefuriata. Mr. February 1st, 1896, exiled Prempeh the First and his retinue arrived at Cape Coast. Nana Prempeh the First, and then the powerful in and so NDC for and their question book say book and another danko for the negotiate for trial. Omo here and omo asante man. So mistake omo here and omo year book no omo paper omo they couldn't find a picture of Nana Sefuriata the First. When omo go for a picture we Google. Nana Prempeh the First. No omo be shame. Now we did say Nana danko for the negotiate book. Na so person omo dey Nana Sefuriata ba book no on back of Nana Prempeh picture on mistake. Who did it? Some mistake. Because the NDC were cooking this and they didn't know, they didn't have a picture. Picture they put a wrong picture in place of Nana Sefuriata and they are telling us that we should believe it. A book that has Nana Prempeh the First as Nana Sefuriata is supposed to be a book written by Nana Sefuriata and his family. Assembly no makofa no mrashe Absa Bank nidi Absa no I think the name came around February 2020 inti abane say and a book and another kufa na ebusu afo atwero a mo so be bu o mind na do ba ba mu 2017 na na do to make say Absa formerly Barclays. What it means is that Absa na enka no ye fe no Barclays so this is called Absa in the year 2020. How is anybody being convinced that this is a strategy document? This is after assembly series no mako update book no. Assembly series no mako update book no. Esi ya no mako update book no. Ebi won so omo de omo hia a miracles no em say jama wan hwa ye be no information minister, ye be no energy minister. Miracles na enyem Mexico no wan hwa ye be no education minister, ye be no friend say petroleum minister no mako update. We would in the year 2020 make Dennis Murakosabuaje the energy minister so that he can nobody ashe mukrim efa nafa amfa let's say omonye hwe. In fact in some of the versions no omo yi film omo yi nyama ni bi omaka eden efim Barclays Bank Ghana now Absa Bank 2020 February. How do you tell me say buka yatro in some way woman na ye niema SCC dada no ma catalog the omo choke mu a enu nyansi in the past as ye tro book bia no ensi. Listen, omo tro book no second version somewhere in 2020. Now adie bia was 2020 book bia e bia see between 2017 and 2020. There is not a single incident of book no ma esia between 2017 and 2020. There AC in 2024-2023 no any book ni update on makwakwa so first version now you will not see the current matter in that version. Every other thing they said never happened and nothing of such has actually happened. Nana Kufuor any Gabi trader koni MPP trade book am MPP on best spell ko do upon kuma dinzi ko do upon kuma na akola awodi subscribe to me spell ko do upon kuma dia on your mistake. But you see, because we transfer, because we yenda identity, and plenty, kojo upon kroma no, we didn't go we throw. We say, is kojo, or say, we make kojo upon kroma, Minister for Communications Minister, and you be a kojo upon Communication Minister. At the end of more kase, a perfect document, we be a kosono, and a kojo upon kroma Communications Minister. Because they see it. It's see ya, no makofa, we don't patch na, we kojo upon kroma another ministry. Move on to another version of the book aba. No much trouble for. in the next government, 2021-2024, government has already convinced Nana to move Kwedo upon Nkrumah to the communications ministry to continue the clampdown on the opposition, as well as not too friendly radio and television stations. He is already excited about this promise on two grounds. He will be deemed to remain one of the loyalists for the future. Secondly, that ministry has one of the richest, hence a conduit for him to increases. Yes, a BNU. Osha, Buffon Cranye, Buffon Cromito book, and yet, Buffon book, and yet, Ubaketua, or what's free senior school SHS1 crown, or come of was a dream of deep Buffonate in Cranty, and my Buffon had a code of didn't say this. Plenty, MP4, any Fedis and Adam Cook for the Betro, Fedis a good upon comedy, no meti, good upon comedy, or Dasso, Ewa Benin, on your communications minister, or your minister for works and housing, or yet a forcer you before member of parliament. You didn't say any spelling. Bank of Ghana report and buy. Bank of Ghana a release report. No, Bank of Ghana release no more fire, no more share book, no more share book. No. How do you write a book in 2020 and compile stories and incidences between 2017 and 20? About the same outro book in 2020. Now compiling your ACC between 2017 and 20. Now the share book. Now for any time there be no update. Over 3 versions of the book I'm saying different. Ebi wo ha esi na e wo current version wo hwe previous version ni enti sabi madaroma nipa na mo so mo twa book no ma bin to mo tumi implement bia no enti mo ni nyansa first one leak here second one leak here third one leak here aba 2017 dia na mo twa no ba kumpo ni wa dem. It is only the 2021 am compile here modern crowd stories in online portal share no na modern am say everything is being implemented. I dare anybody to bring me the book. Let us sit down. Pick all the 3 versions and prove to me which of the things in the book are NNCR is not there. Everything in that book is what has happened. And now, when it happens, then they will update and share. That is why there are 3 versions of the book, apart from the 2017 one. Not a single thing in the 2017 version has happened. One info, any 2017 we see. 2020 they no more cast stories in the bomb. No more they actually okay here. Now say hey, where is here? But you see, you assume say book near 2017 almost 2020. And a banking sector cleanup program. Because banking sector cleanup in 2016 number 2017 book. Why are we doing this to ourselves? Why are we doing this to ourselves? Now I feel here 2017 book okay. Almost say Kanoforiata na beji na Nana Blanco Kufuor anye. Nti de omo ye nyuma no strategy omo de Kanoforiata e ba be president. E do 2020 version omo ye no 2020 version no. After omo say in the 2020 omo say the person of northern origin should be the heir apparent. Omo tron to say Nana Blanco Kufuor na iron strategy bi. Nti Dr. Bawumia ba yi running mate na obuku mo. Why in the way party mu a as at 2020, on to me predict say Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia was going to be the flag bearer of this party. Why? E see ya no me shame. E shame pe no me take screenshot. No ma cycle. Say that you mo screenshot no. Say. Nti say we e ba na say ni previous version ma say no mo ye no. No ma share we. Nti mo share we sana. Na wo kan we ya because we dey can book ne ba ko that say but I can tell you. Who go for the previous version now kan you say we enim. You realize that as for Alan Chamanti, I think I've read this already. So 2017, on my prediction was that Alan will be the flag bearer. 2020, I'm say I'm father after Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia was the obvious choice. No, I'm updating book. No, we say a person of northern origin will be say, and the way you see it, you say, oh, at the end of the year, your friend is saying, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia befa, Nana Blanco Kufuor that plan a complete falsehood. Complete fabrications. Almost here and Nana Blanco Kufuor that plan say or best shut it down radio stations be NDC for no what you know their MPP but radio station back NDC Libya ya shut it there their MPP. Mention one. But let it happen tomorrow. They'll go and take it and put it in the book. Omo kayaka say Nanado MTN everywhere you go. Omo kayaka say Nanado Ebek MTN. Kaya, you are the same people are moving around saying, say, Nanado protect MTN. Kaya Casanado, Ebu MTN. Kaya can say, PDS assemble. This is the PDS assemble. No more editing book, no more the PDS shame. It's when you go and take the second version of the book, PDS in him. But the third version, it has PDS. You are PDS. Nanado in the trap PDS. Mr. Hamid, in our essay, in our essay, in our essay, and a book being no creba kumpu. It is quite obvious, this whole book of agyapade Omachechino is a complete fabrication of the NDC. And a idea almost year was so, and it's in a Omampeni Nankasa, former President Mahankasa, and so Ekimino. Nankaya Sema, and could be a video Mampeni, in some be say misinformation and disinformation, be said, one for one, and two. Anka disinformation and misinformation, said, in Kaun for one, but on any ordinary two. Eko kaya kawo your friend is saying the campaign to say at the end of the day empo to that guy I say empo say book na ye fake crowd the woman there it is all being implemented mo boss abi no ma minister quickly na in fan wrap up.
Recently there was an issue about a document called agyapade. They said it's fabricated, but even if it's fabricated, the implementation is not fabricated. Because everything that is written in that document has been implemented. So if really somebody sat and fabricated that document, then the person can really.
And the former president, you former president, Obia former president, Obia Troy your Mahama, Obia Troy your Mahama. And when the bill and okay, I said politics there about 1 years what. You abeke bi abete se nipa dwe no beka ensure na the film ogina campaign trail e mo no so ka misinformation and disinformation say book ni mpo na ye fake everything in the book is being implemented. I dare one person to come, let us sit down and pick the 4 versions of the book from 2017 to the version 137 page, version 238 page, version 830 version 339 pages ni ye. Which of the things are in the book? Now, we are going for Obianje copy. They said, the young book can be a basic name. And yes, see, you are no more quality. Never said a book back, more versions back 4. I did almost say a strategic document and you prepare answer about Baby. And but said I'll try the 2020. Book, no, which one the 2020? And so when I'm saying, book, no, your book, implemented because Nippon try answer about Baby. But the book was written in the year 2020. Now, not about Baby 2020. Niama esi 2018 ewo buka which one the 2020 mu I say it's implemented. Adiani si 2018 banking sector cleanup 2018-2019 year no so the best book mu say meye who the best 2020 book mu but it's 2018-2019. Why are we this wicked? Why is the NDC so wicked? And the NDC for much more dense and the NDC for much soon sir. Why? Money bang and on my way NDC for all the way from the 90s, 1992, 1993, 1994, 5, 6, all the way from the 90s. Mudi ya mu kwa batu biya mu be chancho. Muntu mu fa no kreke to say emfa nkwa batu. Muntu mi nkan hye nipa no de ntu omuntu abama mo. This is modern training kontompo akasa. Ye de we 2024. 1990 no mo fi mu a ye de be fi mu. 2004 elections na o mo fi mu a ye de be fi mu. 2008 elections na mo film a ye de be film 2012-2016 elections na mo film a ye de be film. This is 2024, the new generation of the MPP ya media grow we try and try 100 times you best spend the time 200 times in the release and try no anyway ade ba akopɛ in the bedi hujuma agyapade book no a complete fabrication of the NDC and na so ketua say and your book bia ebi tweba bronti ase so bia e buka NDC for keka stories online news online stories bubu nyama esisi dada no keka bomu no de bi den e ka ho na adechi bia no BBC no mo fa no mo dishim enti book no your versions ba ko mako 4 o fa sa versions 4 na e bia yesronko version 1 no ye 2017 bia no bia ni mu a esiye 2020 omu se 2017 bia no hwini mu esiye no beka nyama esisi from 2017 to 2020 e ka bomu e ye book elutina even things that happened in March 2020 krano e wo booka nipa no so tro in 2017 book and another dan kwaku for the tro ye no wo say all person of reata picture no hu no ko fa asantehene nana prempe the first picture book a was na Troy and so ba be no nyema esisi 2020 March April February na ewo book no book a was na dan Kwaku for the Troy no e ba ne sai na Professor Kwaku Azaa story a Troy in 2019 was 2020 e we book anado na atena so na otro e ba ne sai na Professor Kwaku Azaa story ewom na the area kware so omo the Professor Kwaku Azaa story no be mu as if say na nado na yeden etro ye ma ho kwan e man tro say e fefe e we man going into the elections. Ghanaians deserve better. Ghana for yourself at say mo be treat you with respect and dignity. Na mo di obuo amayen be ka che the ope say e gina so eto abama wo be che yen e hyehyɛ ya wo ni ni aduma ni peduma che me the obetumi yen ni maba ni ntumi nko school because me ntumi ntua che me ko abefa so me ntumi nko school me ntumi rent die because me miss can be rent che me ko abefa so me me rentika me yen fi di aduma me nyesika na me de ahye me dwum be che me ko abefa so abetumi nyesika e de ahye me dwum me ba me di dwa wo dwa so me pemboa na metumi me godi akoso be che me de nti abetumi aboa na me godi ayi akoso me ya branch me pese me hye adwuma se foforo che me de nti a e kwan abefa so abeboa me na metumi nya hoden e de ahye me dwuma se say na ye politics John Mahama say abato mbe so a de abeke bia se nipa dwunu me ye entro kra na de film Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia say ye entreati nipa sa enyuo ene ahobrase ene ene partner wo de nipa fa sa kwan no so a na wo bu ne ntia wan fo bu ma no ono ogidi say ye to abama na obe make sure say Ghana mebu ebetumi ni school kwan no nya skills o mo ya no mo de abeya adwuma obe make sure say if you adwuma ye bie no ye be bie aka ho automobile companies no do ne ba enunti omo be ko technical vocational school no o de fidie no do be bom workshops no no mo disu betumi akwanim no mo yo betumi abenya adwuma ni biaye Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia say obeboa ema 1 million young children ye training in digital and IT skills no mo tumi aye enuma e wo biase afa na nyina Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia say ye nuanom ye papa no mo importing ye mafia buche eno mo ye businesses so mo di dwa no or the new tax regimes aba wo ho beto duties na report no obeto say hwim na wo make sure say duties no any togodie no ebe ye pe ana ebe ko famase no o say duty ye ntua duty wo dollars biom duty ye betua in cedis ye be calculate in cedis empo exchange rate na report no o so be pege no no be gina fako se na be ya wo betumi a predict no betumi ni scale be hia e de yi wo niama o say Ghana mebu nya gidie wo ni se e kon bi obefa so be ma Ghana ene abuchiman abeye pe no obefa so ma ene abuchiman abeye de abeye pe ogidi say we chichi what do you compare other countries are nemu oyobia owo enisudi eni say enisudi hu owo gidie kase se bia wo pese wo ye no sa woni o manfo ne kabom na mu nyina mo de akomakro adwenkro eya de mo pese mu ye bia ebebum o ma ye nyina so a ye nyina so efato ababa no ye ndi atem ye kasentie nipa ye ntwantro ye nkasakasa nchia ye dia ne se o wadwemfoforo na adwenso nko de bebo man no odi ne hoti o wakomapa o wodo e magana e se former president Mahama mo to abama no why mo mwa no mo menya konya no na de ono so betu ye no o meye ne yehwe aha the next chapter show nyame ya duma ya wada e besa so ehia wa ha to my Gen Z people I keep telling you this election is for us. This election is about us. Let's be ready to understand the issues and vote based on the issues. Under no circumstance should we let anybody at all exchange our future for their own personal gains. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is running against a former president, a man that had an opportunity to cause change in the lives of the people of this country, but failed woefully. A man in whose time, when we had difficulties and challenges, told us clearly that he's turned into a dead goat and he cannot be bothered by even sharp knives. A man who looked us in the eyes and told us that he's not ready to negotiate with our medical officers who were simply asking for better conditions of service. A man who said that he has seen so many strikes even during his first term and can no longer be bothered. A man who left this country in darkness for the entire period he was in office and sat down and ensured that thousands of jobs were lost, millions of people stayed at home, factories shut down. A man who sat down and allowed hundreds of thousands of young Ghanaians drop out of junior high school after basic education simply because their parents could not afford. This man surely cannot be one we can leave our future into. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia has been a fantastic vice president. One of the most vibrant and arguably the most active vice president we've seen in our lifetime. A vice president that is willing to work with us to fix our challenges. He's one that believes that a lot has been done, but a lot more remains for us to achieve as a people, and is ready to rally us all together behind him and lead us into the future we desire and aspire for ourselves. Let's vote for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, not just for us, but for our friends, our brothers, and the generations unborn. I'll see all of us again on Thursday at exactly 7:30 p.m. Thank you.